Hello everyone and welcome back to GTA Online with me, Longclaw Valerian Steel, where we always deliver. And welcome to the very first episode of my new GTA Online series, Total Relaxed Grinding. This is something a bit different. In this video series I'll be taking you with me on my grinding journey, whatever I'm doing. People ask me all the time how I have made so much money in the game, so now's your chance to see for yourself. I have never once purchased a shark card or done any glitching, it's all totally honest and totally legit. I'll be giving away some of my trade secrets and giving you all the tips and tricks you need to make it seriously cash rich in GTA Online. These videos are ideal for running while you're playing the game, so come along with me and let's spend some time together. All this week in GTA Online it is double money on the special cargo sales, and this is a business which I really enjoy, but it is a grueling experience. So I'm going to be spending my time based at my Maze Bank office and trying to fill up my two large warehouses, as well as trying to get some of the special cargo targets as well, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Essentially, I'm going to be collecting crates and bringing them back to my warehouse, and I'm trying to sell my two large warehouses full back to back, and that will give me sales worth 8 million GTA dollars. It takes a while to fill up, but it's definitely worth doing, so come along and let's see how we get on. So before we get started, let's have a little chat about this car. This is the FMJ, which is the podium vehicle available at the Diamond Casino this week, and what a car it is. I already have this car, it's one of my favourites, and I love the way that this car drives. It's seriously an impressive piece of kit. It's actually inspired by the 2017 version of the Ford GT. A very nice vehicle, so if you have the time, get down to the casino and see if you can win this. What I'm doing is using this to collect some special cargo crates. So I've launched a special cargo mission, 3 crates, and I'm just chasing down the police van that has hijacked my cargo. This can be tricky, and it depends. You're obviously going to be better off in an air vehicle, and if you want to make it super easy for yourself, get in an oppressor or a buzzard. But I like to get my cars out when I'm doing special cargo. It's an experience, an opportunity for me to drive around in some of my cars. And if you do drive around in the cars, not a lot of people know this, but the special cargo that appears once you've launched your mission will appear much closer if you're not in an air vehicle, so it's just going to be a mile or so away from where you are. If you get in an air vehicle, it will automatically detect that you're in an air vehicle, and your special cargo mission will launch probably 2 or 3 miles away, and you're going to be traveling all across the map. So if you want to keep it local and keep it in the city, which is where all my businesses and stuff are, then just launch it either from your arcade or from your office or from your terabyte. They're the 3 places you can launch this, and getting your businesses set up so that you have an office in the middle with 2 or 3 warehouses surrounding the office, and also your arcade in there somewhere as well. It's going to make this process much quicker. So what I'm doing is going from wherever I'm delivering my special cargo, I will go to the nearest place, and in this case it's my arcade. So I just drive over to my arcade and launch another mission. The reason I use 2 large warehouses, aside from the fact that I want to fill these large warehouses up, is so that I don't have to wait for the cooldown. So if you have 2 warehouses, it doesn't need to be large, but if you're going for a massive sale like I am, you need to have 2 warehouses that you can basically continue to launch missions for. So if anyone doesn't know about special cargo, I'm going to give you a very brief rundown on how it works. You have a warehouse. First you need an office, and that's how you can register as a CEO, and I know most of you know that. Then you need to buy cargo warehouses, and in that cargo warehouse you can store stock. You can basically, once you've bought a warehouse, you can launch a mission to source stock, and what that means is you can buy the stock for a small amount of money, about 18,000 if you buy 3 crates, and you can then sell those 3 crates for a larger profit, and it works out if you can get a lot of these crates in one warehouse and do one massive sale, it works out at a huge profit. As I said, if I can fill up 2 large warehouses, when it's double money, those large warehouses, you can sell the product in each warehouse for 4 million. You do have to take into account the fact that you are buying the stock, so there is some money that comes out of your profit. But if you talk to any OG GTA money grinders, they will tell you that one of the best ways to make money in the game is following the special cargo process. And it's not something I do all the time because there are so many other things to do in the game now, and I spend a lot of time running the CyberPunk Heist, which I maintain is the best way to make money in GTA right now. But the special cargo business is a fantastic money spinner. You do need to commit a lot of time to build and fill up the stock. When I say fill up the stock, I'm talking like, I think it's 114 crates, so you're collecting 3 of those at a time, so it will take you some time. But each collection mission, if you watch what I'm doing now, it's not really taking me that long. Again, I had to chase this guy down. I waited for him to stop at the lights, I threw him out of the vehicle, and then I'm now delivering it to my special cargo warehouse. So you can see I'm not editing this video much, so you can see it's not taking me that long. Each mission is going to be different, and there are so many random variants of the collection mission. Sometimes you're going to need to collect 3 crates at a time, sometimes you're going to need to create 1 crate at a time. And you can tell the difference between a mission where you're going to collect 3 and one where you're going to collect them all at once by the way that the waypoint appears on your map. For example, if you can see the crate on the map when you launch the mission, generally that means that there's going to be 1 van or 1 vehicle that you're going to bring all 3 crates back in one go. And that's obviously the best that you could hope for, is that you can bring it all back in one go, because that's going to be way quicker. If you can't see the crate on the map, generally speaking, it means that you're going to end up with 3 separate crates, and you're going to have to collect them one at a time. Now, this whole special cargo process was designed for multiple players, so the idea is you have 2 or 3 players working with you, and you can each collect a crate and bring it back. Again, that would be super quick, and you can pay those people a small secure serve wage. But if you're doing it solo like I am, it means that you will need to collect those vehicles, and that in that case you would probably be better to use a buzzard or your oppressor, or something that you can move around the map very quickly. Again, I tend to continue with my cars because, again, it's an opportunity for me just to drive around my cars a bit, and I like that. I use my office to launch most of the missions if I'm able to get to it. It's just nicer because you can call in a vehicle and take off from the helipad, and all of your personal vehicles, even the ones that are not stored in your office garage, are available via your receptionist there, your assistant. So it's just a nice, easy way to do it. But if I'm too far away, I will go to my arcade. I don't really use my terabyte anymore, since the arcade and the master terminal in the arcade has become a better way of doing it. Now, this is an example of a mission where I can't see the stock on the map yet, so I know it's going to be 3, and because I've done this so many times, I know where I'm going, I know the location, and I know that this particular mission is 3 separate crates. And sometimes the stock doesn't appear on the map right away, so it's all about practice and getting used to the different missions that come up and the locations. I know that I'm going to have to land near the boat at the docks, and I'm going to have to go and track down the cargo in 3 separate locations and take it back one by one. So you want a vehicle like this where you can move around the map very quickly, and something that's agile. I haven't called in my oppressor because I want to keep my vehicle in the game, my FMJ in the game. So I'm using a buzzard, which is available for free once you've bought it and you own it, and you can just call it in via your secure serve. Once you've done this a few times, as I say, you know exactly where these guys are laying, and they're basically injured but not dead yet, and they have the stock next to them, and each one of them has a crate nearby. So I'm going to the one that's sort of the furthest away, which I know is up this ladder, and I'll take out the guy, take the crate, and then I'm going to have to come back and get the other 2. And in the meantime, your assistant will locate those crates for you if you really don't know where they are. But once you've done this a few times, you'll find them. And it can be a bit boring once you've done this a few times, if you end up getting the same missions again. And that is what people mean when they say that they've been grinding. It's not that it's not like doing a heist where you do each mission and you do 4 or 5 missions and then you're done. Sometimes if you're collecting 100, you can do the maths. If you're doing 114 separate crates into a warehouse, and you're going to do that twice because you've got 2 warehouses that you're doing that. So essentially you're going to collect basically 230 crates, and you can only get 3 at a time. So you can do the maths how many of these. So it's definitely worth splitting this up and not doing it all in one go. I tend to do about 23, 25 crates in each warehouse, so that's about 50 in total, and that takes me about an hour. This video hasn't been edited that much, so it's roughly how long it takes me to do about 50 crates between the 2 warehouses. And then I know that I can basically come back, and usually in 2 or 3 sessions I will knock out enough stock to have both warehouses full. And then the warehouse sales, that's a whole other ball game, and I'll show you exactly how I sell them. I plan to do all of this week while it's double money and let you experience the whole thing. For now it's just the prep, and a lot of people post videos of their large warehouse sales, which is great, but they don't really show the work that goes in to fill those up and how you actually do that. So that's what these videos are. Each total relaxed grinding video that I do will be focusing on something different, a different form of grinding in the game, but it really shows the true nature of money grinding. My crew, True Valerian Steel, are essentially at heart we're money grinding crew, and it's all about making money legitimately in the game. We do have some fun and we help each other out running heists, and it's a safe place for people who want to join GTA and they don't know who to play with, and they're looking for players to help them generate money to buy the expensive things in the game. And then once you've got them, you're looking for reliable players that you can use to help you run your heists, sell your stuff. And we have a Discord server, and the link to join the crew, it's all in my bio, and you can join up, and we have different rooms in the Discord server where you can chat about your business sales and things like that and ask for help. My warehouses are located in, one of them is in downtown Vinewood, that's this one, and then there's another one in La Mesa, not in La Mesa, just close to La Mesa, but they're very close to the city, very easy to get to. And I also have a small warehouse which I use to put my special stock in. And I haven't had any special stock issued to me yet, but special stock, essentially special cargo, the name special cargo comes from the fact that once you've done a few of these collections, your assistant will call you every now and then and ask you if you want to take advantage of a special opportunity, which is slightly more expensive item which you can sell for a much higher profit. Now there are 5 different items, like the Bigfoot costume, there's like a gold minigun, things like that, different items, and you can sell them for a much higher value. So each one of those will be worth a lot more. I think you buy it for like 30,000 or 29,000 or something like that, and you can sell it for something like 100,000 or something like that. And when it's double money, that's really worth getting hold of. So these items I put in a separate warehouse just to keep them out of the way, so I can fully stock up my large warehouses. And that's what it's all about, just understanding the ratios, how quickly you can get hold of this stock. And it isn't a difficult process. If you do it in a private session like I'm doing here, I've done a nat type session so that there's no one in it with me, that way you're not going to get griefed by anyone. You can't do this kind of stuff in a crew session because you can't access the computer, so you need to do it either in a private nat type session or in a public session. And the best thing to do is to do it in a session which is you set up yourself, and there's just a few people that you can invite in, or your crew members, things like that. And that's why it's totally relaxed, because you just take your time with it. It doesn't always go like clockwork. As I say, I've not edited this video much, so you can see there it's easy to make mistakes when you're playing the game. A couple of times when I'm chasing down the vans that that's the worst scenario for you, is that you get someone in a moving vehicle that has been alerted to you, and they're now racing off around the map at top speed, and you have to chase them down and shoot them. And you can see it does happen sometimes if you're not concentrating. Learning your little tricks, where to park your vehicle, at what point to try and where to go to get rid of the police, because sometimes you have to collect vehicles from compounds and things like that. It's all about just understanding exactly where to go. But if you do it like this, it's a nice chilled out way of making a lot of money in GTA Online. And a lot of players who can't find people to do stuff with and they're looking for help with things, something like this will be easy for you to get your head around. And Players that want to make it seriously rich in GTA Online, and I mean hundreds of millions in their bank, and they've already bought everything and they've got all of that money left over, you need to have everything working like clockwork. So your MC businesses all need to be stocked up, they need to be ready so that when double money happens for the MC businesses, you can start knocking those out. You have your nightclub all tuned up with all the technicians ready to go, everything's upgraded so you're getting the max amount. And then of course you need your CEO business, and the CEO business essentially is the special cargo business and the bunker business and the vehicle cargo, so the import and export business. And I'll be doing some stuff on import and export next, because that's another one of my favourite ways to grind in GTA Online. But this is essentially the very first business that was added to the game. So GTA used to be very much like public lobbies, and GTA Online used to be like a massive public lobby with business battles and things like that going on, but not in the way that we know business battles now. There wasn't really anything else you could do except run around trying to compete with each other in a public lobby. And then GTA Online suddenly transformed itself into what is called the Finance and Felony update. And that update brought the CEO business and an office that you could purchase and a business which you could run, and no one really knew how to do it. And that's why it's a little more basic than some of the other businesses that have been added to the game, and a lot of new players don't realise how these things were added and what order these things turned up in the game. It's essentially the special cargo business was one of the first things added, and that's why it doesn't work quite the same way as the others. You have to purchase the stock up front rather than just go and steal it. So you're always spending money to make money, and it's almost like real life businesses. You have to purchase stock and then you try to sell it at a higher value. And the idea was that people would compete against other rival organisations within a public lobby to try to destroy the stock. And really that's where griefing was born, and that's essentially what griefing is. Because when we talk about griefing in GTA Online, we're not really talking about people blowing up each other's cars or people killing you, because what does it really matter if you die in GTA Online? You've just come back to life. What does it really matter if somebody destroys your vehicle? It's annoying, yes, if you've just rolled out of the mod shop in a brand new car and you're ready to go. Trust me, especially if you're trying to record a video in that brand new car and you will roll out and forget you're in a public lobby, and then somebody comes and blows you up in an oppressor. It's annoying because you've got to then call that car in again, but you don't pay for the insurance, somebody else does. So what does it really matter? I mean, griefing is not about blowing up people's vehicles. Griefing is about destroying stock. So if I spend how many hours, let's say for the sake of argument 5 hours filling up all of my warehouses and then roll out to sell my special cargo stock, and somebody comes and blows me up in an oppressor whilst I'm selling it, now that is going to cause me some real grief, because I can't get that stock back and I cannot get that time back, and that's all the time and effort and money that I've invested in the game gone. Now that is essentially the true art of griefing, and that's what happened when people started the CEO business and the special cargo business. So running it in a private lobby is a way of taking out all of that threat, and I never sell my CEO business in a public lobby. I say never, I have done, just to prove it can be done, to make videos on how to do it, and I used the Ghost organisation. I always sell my bunker and my nightclub stock in public lobbies, but the special cargo sales, not a chance. Not a chance am I going to waste my time filling up the warehouse crate by crate just to have it in a public lobby. I'd rather not get those public lobby bonuses and just stick to the amount of money that I make. It's completely different. If you're doing MC sales which are really small, then yeah, I mean, the only time I would ever sell my special cargo stock in a public lobby is if it was literally 9 crates. And there is a process, and I've done a video on this before, of how you can collect 9 crates, so just 3 separate collections in 2 separate warehouses, so you have 9 in each, and you can sell that whilst it's double money, and do that much quicker and do it over and over again really quickly, over and over, and make a decent profit. It's not as much and it's not as impressive, but it's a way of reducing that risk. And now if I was doing it with 9 crates, let's be honest, you can collect 9 crates in 30 minutes, but still, if you spend 30 minutes collecting those crates and then you roll out to sell them, you think you're in a safe lobby and then someone comes and blows you up, that's still going to cause you some grief. And griefing is called griefing for a reason, because it is hard to deal with. And a lot of newer players to the game, younger players, they probably, and for good reason, can't cope with that. And that's why a lot of the players that I play with, and a lot of players that come to me and ask for help, are players that are really on the verge of giving up with GTA Online. They're saying things like, I'm not playing this anymore, I can't handle it, it's just too toxic. And I get that completely, because if it wasn't for private NAT type lobbies and crews that help you out and protect you, I would really struggle to see the point in spending time and making money. And for me, a massive game changer for me was when I was very new to the game and I was losing patience with a lot of the griefing, and I was talking to more experienced players in the GTA community and saying things just like that, saying, I don't know what to do, but I can't sell anything, people just keep destroying me. And someone said, do you know how to do a NAT type? And I was like, what's that? And when they told me about it, I was like, whoa. And it changed everything. It meant then that I could invest 2 hours of my time, 3 hours of my time playing GTA Online, and I knew everything I was doing was safe and it was worthwhile, because I was not going to lose any of that stock. And that is the key. So embrace your special cargo business and do it the way I do it. There's a couple of different methods. Either do it small so you can do it quickly and protect yourself, or do it large like I'm doing now. And if you do it large, it's a bit of a risk, but wow, the rewards are big. I mean, imagine if you do this twice and out in a week where you have the special event week where it's double money. I think everybody's different, and it depends how much time you've got to invest in this, but it for me right now, with the amount of content that I'm uploading and the amount of live streams that I do each week, I wouldn't have the time to do it more than once. But in the past, where I've not had so much commitment and not uploading and producing so much content, I've managed to do this a couple of times in the same double money week. So you can do this twice. Yeah, I know players, experienced players, who do this 3-4 times whilst it's double money, and that means they must be investing 28, somewhere between 15 hours a day, maybe even 20 hours a day, grinding away at this and just sleeping for 4 hours. And that's crazy. I'm not going to do that. Once you get to a point where you've got hundreds of millions, you don't need that much money. So it is definitely something you can do once during the double money event week and get your 8 million for it. And I would recommend, if you have businesses set up and it's all ready to go, try and do that this week. Follow exactly what I'm doing now and try and do that. Now here's an example of me making a mistake for those who think that it doesn't happen. What you should do here, you're supposed to wait for these two guys to take each other out, and they do eventually, but what I find is there's always one guy that gets in the van and drives away. So I try to get out of my car and take them out before he gets in the van. If he does get in the van, you're going to have trouble. Now, here was my chance to take him out, and I thought I'd taken him out, but he was still alive. Even though I'd shot him in the head a few times, he still managed to drive off. So I had to chase him down, and luckily we're inside the airport, and if you look, he's driving super slow. So it's just a matter of taking him out before he gets anywhere near the exit. If you do let him get to the exit, he'll take it out into the city, and then you're going to be chasing him around the city. And since you started shooting him, he's alerted to you, so he's not going to stop at any lights, he's not going to slow down, and you make things really hard for yourself. So this is a bit annoying that I've done this so many times, and most of the time what I do, if I'm in my presser, is blow up every single person, all of the people, and just go and collect the stock. And you can usually manage to do that. But if you do get yourself stuck in a situation like this, you just need to persevere with it. I mean, that's why I always say that Longclaw, Valerian Steel, where we always deliver, because it comes back to this idea of grinding, where I will never let my stock go. Even if it takes me an hour to get that stock, I'm gonna track it down and I'm going to deliver that stock 100%. Like, nothing is going to stop me. Even if a griefer comes into the lobby, I will get out the vehicle and try and take out the griefer. I will basically jump out of the session and back in so I don't lose the stock, it's going to be delivered. And that's where the whole always deliver comes from, and that's the mindset of a true money grinder, that you just keep going. So it took me a while to track that guy down. He was riding around inside the airport, but I got it, and here I am in the van ready to deliver the stock. And not one of these missions resulted in me losing any stock. Sometimes you make a stupid mistake, you just got to fix it. If you make a mistake and you think, damn it, I know I shouldn't have done that, just fix it. Stay with the stock and get it, even if it means you've got to chase it down, get your gun out. Sometimes it gets super messy, but what really matters is you just get that stock and deliver it, because you don't want to lose it. Because remember, you're paying for this crate by crate, and that's the difference between this business and, let's say, the MC business. Now the biker business, the MC business came after this business, the special cargo business, so they changed a few things, and one of those was that you can either buy your stock and pay for it, or you could steal it. So you have the choice to do either. Once you delivered, it's just back on the road again. And I think another thing about making this process work is understanding your aircraft spawn points. And what I mean by that is, when you call in a personal aircraft, such as your Akula or any of your planes or anything that you own that's in your hangar, it will arrive in certain locations around the map. And for me, there's a spawn spot right behind my warehouse in the storm drain, which is this massive weather sort of drain that runs throughout the center of the city. And I know that, and for most people will recognize this as a spawn point for aircrafts. If you're in the city, if you happen to have a warehouse that's near the beach, then your spawn point will be somewhere near the beach. Usually your personal aircrafts will appear quite quickly and quite close to you if you're anywhere near the sea, because it'll be literally on the sand somewhere up the beach. And that means you can actually use your personal aircrafts, and I mean things like the Akula or the Annihilator or the Hunter, as well as your, I don't recommend it, but things like the Hydra. That Hydra is not great for this kind of stuff, because you need to park and you need to be very versatile and move around the map. You won't last very long in it. But what I love about this business, because it's the very first one, you can bring anything into the game. You can even bring in your Sparrow from your submarine to help you with this. So you can call in any of your vehicles, so whatever you fancy. If you fancy to, sometimes if I'm in a real rush and I really want to bang this out, I'll just stay in my oppressor and I'll do the whole thing in my oppressor. That way I'm able to get all over the map, nothing matters. But as I said, if you are in an air vehicle, the oppressor is registered as a motorbike in the game, so it's a slight way around it. It doesn't register that you're in an air vehicle. If you try and do it in a helicopter, it will register you're in a helicopter and you'll be sent much further to pick up the stock. But the oppressor is a way of getting around that, because it's registered as a bike, not an air vehicle. If you click the down arrow when you're on the oppressor, you'll see that it comes up as a motorcycle, not a plane or anything like that, or a helicopter or anything like that. So here we are launching some more stock, and we're off. And if you need to, you can check in with your assistant to pick up snacks, switch vehicles out, whatever. Because I landed in my personal aircraft, I'm just heading directly back out to the roof. Now, I'm not sure what office everybody else uses, but my office is fairly central in the center of the map, and it's easy to get to from both of mine. And I organised it like that when I purchased the special cargo business. Although it's one of the very first added to the game, it was one of the very last things that I purchased in terms of businesses, because I went into the MC business as my original business, and then the nightclub, and then the bunker, and then I bought an office but didn't really go heavy. I bought a very small warehouse and did a little bit, and I didn't get heavily into the large warehouses until much later in the game. And what essentially I did is, by that point I had a bit more money and I was able to choose exactly where I wanted to put my large warehouses. So I chose to put them very close, almost just surrounding. I wanted like a circle with my office in the middle, my arcade somewhere on the outside of the circle, and the three warehouses all within that circle, so that I could essentially run everything really quickly. And not only that, I wanted my MC businesses to also be local, so that I could switch between special cargo and MC businesses whenever I wanted to. And again, not only that, I want my apartments located nearby and my vehicle warehouse located nearby, because whatever's going on in GTA, I want to be able to access these things super quickly. This is an example of one of the missions where you have to go into a police compound. There's a couple of ways you should handle this. Try to avoid going into the compound via the main entrance, so fly into it, park up on a roof where you cannot be shot, and don't hang around on the roof because a helicopter will soon appear and you'll soon find yourself being taken out by the police, and then shoot your way to a van. And here's another example of me making a mistake, thinking that this was my van. I actually smashed the window, got in, then realised nope, that's not it, it's actually the white one over there. So I had to get out of the van and take out the police. But as long as you don't hang around in one spot for too long, get into the vehicle, you'll be able to exit the compound without getting killed. And then once you've completed the OG heists in your penthouse heists, so we're talking about Prison Break and Series A and all that kind of stuff, you'll be able to contact Lester and hire him to remove your wanted level or set bounties, that kind of stuff. And he becomes a contact that you can use to do that kind of stuff. Now, what that means is that you can phone Lester. It's a bit like bribing the authorities, but it's cheaper. You phone Lester, pay 300, and you basically, if you've got 3 stars, it's 600. I think it's 200 if you have 1 star, and 300 if you have 2 stars. So you can pay a little amount of money and get the police off your back. So just wait until you're outside the compound. Don't do it inside the compound, because what will happen is you'll get another wanted level as soon as you leave. So wait till you're out, you've exited the compound in the van, get your phone out and get rid of it. And then another tip could be actually wait until you get close to your warehouse, because when you do get close to your warehouse, suddenly your 3-star wanted level transforms to a 1-star wanted level, and your assistant will message you and say you need to lose the heat, and then your fee that you pay will suddenly be it will be 400 less. But it's a small fee, it's just 600. But if you've got 0 money and you're really trying to make money, that's the sort of thing you need to think about. For me, I'm not bothered how much I pay, I just want them off my back, and I want this to be totally relaxed grinding. So we're just heading over to drop this off, and then I'm pretty close to my arcade again, so I'll just go straight to my arcade and use the arcade to launch the next mission. And if you notice, there's not really any downtime in between these missions, and that is how you maximize your time. My buzzard that I called in as part of the CO is still there, so I can still use it, and that's the other. You know, if you get a few vehicles into the game with you, your Sparrow's somewhere parked up nearby, you've got your FMJ available, you've got a buzzard on the go, it's going to make this super easy. You can switch vehicles without waiting around. You can see my warehouse is starting to fill up, but there's still a long way to go. I think I've got around 21 crates in each warehouse, so I've really just started this, and this is my first session, so I'm going to try and do, I think 3 separate sessions will probably fill it up, and this will be session 1. So I will just continue to do this throughout the week and spend a bit of time each day, just an hour here or there, knocking out more collections until I get it full, and then I'll do the sales. So now I'm heading over to my arcade, and this is the most expensive arcade, which is just in downtown Vinewood, and that purple building up ahead of me that you can see, the tower, that's where my apartment is. So again, I wanted and I can literally run up the road and get into my apartment, so it's super quick. And you can once you have a heist on the go, an OG heist, even if you've completed them all, if you get a heist started again in your penthouse apartment, Ron, for example, messages me all the time, because I started the Series A heist again and then abandoned it. And the reason I did that is so that I get Ron messaging me all the time. Whenever I'm not doing anything, he messages me and says, do you want to start your heist? And I can accept that and fast travel all the way across the map to my apartment, wherever I am. If I'm in Palito Bay, it doesn't matter. And then a short run down the road and I'm sat at my arcade terminal like this. So it's a way of getting around the map really quickly. Just quickly checking in with my nightclub stock just to make sure that the popularity bar is totally maxed out, ignoring everything else and just heading straight to my special cargo, back to source cargo. You can see I have 3 separate warehouses here, and I'm just focusing on filling up the big ones. And if I do get a special cargo offer from my assistant, I'll take that. And we're getting towards the end of the session now, and I'm just going to collect one more just to make sure that I always fill up both of them and leave it so that my first warehouse, the downtown Vinewood warehouse, will be the next place I start. So I always make sure that they're evenly stocked up. So I just need one more collection of 3 to put in my Darnell Brothers warehouse, which is the one in Lemessa, and that will be me for this session. So it's not taking me that long to get the first sort of 23. Now this is what another way of selling your special cargo could be, that you just sell 23. And the reason I say 23 is because that is the way that you make sure that you get only 2 delivery vehicles and not 3. 3 can be kind of hard, especially if you have planes. If you do a massive warehouse, you're going to have to sell sometimes 2 or 3 vehicles, and depending on how lucky you are when you get the sale, let's see what happens. Sometimes you get just one boat, 3 trucks, something like that, and it's super easy. But I'll show you when I do the sale how I managed to do it. This, I was really lucky. I picked up just 1 van here, and the 3 crates are all in the back. No challenge to get past. Every now and then you get one like this where there's no NPCs, nothing. It's just a matter of picking it up, taking it from A to B, and that is the ultimate total relaxed special cargo collection. So we're going to deliver this off down at my last warehouse, and then I'll leave it there, and I'll come back and do this tomorrow, a little bit more each day, and I'll wait until the warehouses are full, and then I'll do the sales and show you exactly how I do the sales. So I urge you to get to your special cargo businesses this week and spend a bit of time. Get out of the submarine, get into the city, get one of your cars out that you really love and that you don't drive around very often, and use that to collect your special cargo crates, and you'll enjoy yourself. And it's totally rewarding because you know you're going to make a massive amount of money. And if you need help with it, then get someone to help you. But if you can, try and do it by yourself. None of these missions are super hard. If you fail, just keep going until you collect it. And don't worry if you do accidentally destroy some of your special cargo crates because you blow it up in your oppressor or something like that. Don't worry about it. So it costs you 18,000, so what? Get on with the next one, pick it up. It's a little bit gutting, but try to avoid using anything with missiles and firing it towards anywhere near where your stock is. You'll notice I don't do that because it is fairly easy to accidentally blow up the car with your stock in it, or at least one of the crates. So try to avoid that. And here I am picking up my Sparrow just to head over to my office one last time, and I will sit there and AFK while I go and do something else. I hope you've enjoyed this very first episode of my Total Relax Grinding series. It's something I'm going to do. Their videos are a bit longer. They are ideal for you to play while you're in the middle of something else, while you're playing GTA Online. Just let it run in the background. It's the whole idea of leaving this as slightly long videos, and I've never uploaded anything longer than sort of 5-10 minutes max. So this is something new, but I want to try giving my community a chance to see a bit more of what goes on behind the scenes rather than the polished sales at the end of the process. So let me know what you think of this in the comments. Let me know what you're doing with your special cargo. Get those sales set up ready for a big one this week. I'll be streaming live on TikTok later today, so join me. Click the links in the bio. Take care, and I'll see you soon.